Good afternoon, Portland. It's Friday, 5 p.m. at Pioneer Square. Time once again for the Portland Peaceful Response. You know, it's been a big week at the United Nations. We had Julian Assange on talking about his situation. But you know, you can't really have a democracy unless you have an informed electorate, that kind of bases their decisions on information. Julian Assange is guilty of passing on information about the war that was conducted in Iraq. And so passing on this information, informing the U.S. citizens and the world about the war crimes and the war protesters of the U.S. military and the war protesters who we now consider to be an enemy of the state of the United States. What a total hypocrite Mr. Obama is. Mr. Obama also said he was standing up for democracy in the Arab Spring, when we actually know the U.S. government was in support of all the tyrants in the Middle East that the people rose up and pushed out of office. And just another person at the United Nations was Netanyahu, who claims he is concerned about Iran getting a nuclear weapon. What he never mentions is that Israel already has the nuclear weapons, 200 of them. He doesn't mention that the facts indicate that Iran does not want to have a nuclear weapon and are actually using up their nuclear material in peaceful purposes. They are reducing the amount of nuclear material they have. So Mr. Netanyahu is lying, trying to rev up the justification for an attack on Iran. We're having an election coming up here, and it's an election between two evils. Between Mr. Hypocritical Barack Obama, who is conducting these wars using drone strikes, and another person who doesn't seem to have a sense, I don't know, no mechanical aptitude whatsoever. Mr. Romney was quoted as saying he couldn't see why we couldn't roll down the windows of an airplane if we needed to get some oxygen. How absurd. Anyway, you cannot depend on an election vote.
Yeah.
People action are going to stop these wars and bring justice and save the planet.
I assume you guys are all registered to vote for them.
Yes, indeed. We are registered to vote. I'm not sure who we can vote for, but it's a bad choice. And now I want to introduce Micheal Meo from the Green Party, who's going to introduce us a little bit of this hypocrisy that we've been exposed to.
You're all registered to vote, I assume?
Yeah. Thank you, Herschel. I want to continue a series I've been telling you about, how the United States, in the person of its president, is so contradicting itself with its ideals and with its actions that no one believes the United States any longer. The United States President, Barack Obama, spoke to the United Nations this week, and he said, and I quote, "The attacks of the last 2 weeks are not simply an assault upon America. They're also an assault on the very ideals upon which the United Nations was founded. The notion that people can resolve their differences peacefully, that diplomacy can take the place of war, that in an interdependent world all of us have a stake in working towards greater opportunity and security for our citizens. Tell that to the Afghanis. Tell that to the Somalis. Tell that to the people who are bombed and massacred daily by the forces of the United States. Where is our working together for security for all? The United States escalated the war in Afghanistan when Obama became president. And why? He ran on that ticket. He is running on a ticket of forever having war across the world. That's what the ticket of the the United States is, while it proclaims its diplomacy, while it proclaims its interdependence with the peaceful forces of the world. It is just like the Soviet Union before it collapsed.
Right on, Mike.
Thank you, Michael. And that proves it, folks. You cannot depend on leaders to do the right thing. It has to be the people demanding in the streets, demanding that the right thing be done. And certainly we can't tolerate a president who has a Tuesday meeting to decide who lives and who dies. The king has to go. We're now sent to march to try and raise political consciousness in Portland.
Maybe that's enough.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
If Mayor Adams would just resign, I could retire. Because he keeps doing stupid stuff.
As soon as we get the council replaced, then you can retire.
Like they're putting Sergeant Nice back on the streets.
I know, Fresh Hour, yeah.
And Fresh Hour is an appeal, and Adams is saying that they're going to appeal it to the Court of Appeal, which sounds good to me. However, there better be a plan B. Because the Court of Appeal, I don't think it's going to overturn the arbitration.
Yeah, I don't think so. Well, Sam Adams wants him out. He doesn't, but...
Yeah, what they should be doing is negotiating what to do with him if they're forced to take him back. They don't have to put him on the street. They can put him in the coat rack.
In the coat rack, yeah.
Or watch the coffee machine and make sure nobody steals the coffee machine. They can assign him anywhere they want.
Well, did you hear about the psychologist that they had a hearing about the psychologist, whether to reinstate them or not?
I was there for that.
That same psychologist is kind of like being used over and over again with these police officers.
They were going to do it, but Joanne and Dan Haldeman
told them off.
They objected to it, and once they objected to it, Adams, for whatever reason, said, well, let's pull this and let's rethink this one.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think that it's kind of like cross-contamination. Not cross-contamination, but I can't think of the right word right now. But, when you, like a conflict of interest, basically. If you have the same psychologist that interviews them when they get hired and gives them a review, and it's the same one they deal with when they screw up, and they send it back to that same psychologist, it's like...
It's called being dumb. It's called Dumb 101.
Yeah.
And we should have a special category for politicians called Dumb 101 because they keep doing the same thing over and over again. So yeah, you're absolutely right. This psychologist should not be used.
Yeah, it's terrible.
The Department of Justice has already told them that they're in trouble. They ought to revamp all the way across the line.
All the way across the board.
And invite people like Joanne and Dan and people that deal with the police into the decisions before they're made.
Yeah, a better citizens review board, but I think they need a whole new training program for their officers.
Here's the problem that they have with the trainers. If you read the arbitration decision, which is 75 pages long, however, every trainer belonged to the union. Every trainer testified to defend Fresh Hour.
Yeah, I know. His officers backed you.
Those trainers should be removed from the union and made into managers. So the union cannot pressure them into testifying the way they want them to testify. If you notice, the only two people that testified that he was way out of bounds was the mayor and the chief of police. And they're outside the union. They have to take the trainers outside of the union.
Yeah, that's right. They are outside of the union. They're voted in.
They're part of the union now.
Yeah.
So they need to remove them.
Yeah, we need to remove them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What they ought to do is sit down with people that are really interested and helping, not just criticizing, but helping,
Yeah.
top to bottom.
Well, look, they got the DOJ involved investigating us on a 2-year investigation. I think they should be getting some things together, you know?
Adam's just saying, well, we don't have the money.
Yeah.
It's not the money, it's the attitude.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
They don't want to change, you know?
That's right. Oh, we can't find the money, so therefore we can't change. I could do the damn changes, Adams, without any money at all. And revamp the whole goddamn bunch of them.
Joe and Bobby. Boldly going where the corporate media won't.